What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and what a great day! Gotta love it. I mean, Stoke is always a difficult place to go play. We saw Man U go there 2 weeks ago and couldn't handle it. Managed to come away with only a draw there. And that's a team that's honestly looked like the best team so far this season. And then we go to Stoke, and now we look like one of the best teams this season because we just completely dominate them 4-0, easy victory for us. So before I talk about our play and the performance overall, I do want to give a special shout out and some serious props to Mike Dean tonight because holy cow was he on fire for Stoke. I mean, we had to be at our best to make sure he didn't hurt us tonight because it felt like all of these free kicks set up right outside the box. He was putting them there perfectly. Oh, it was a master class of performance, and he tried to get them into the game as much as possible, but they just couldn't convert them. So on that sarcastic note, I also want to talk about the big mistake he made tonight. Because, all those little fouls, the little ones that are going against us kind of reminds me of the Arsenal game. The little fouls, building. You're not giving us the little fouls, you're giving them little fouls. The frustration does grow. Where last week, it led to David Luiz going into a stupid challenge. This week, because we were up 4-0 and didn't have to worry about anything, it leads to Peter Crouch going into a stupid challenge. Because now he's frustrated. But only a yellow. And once again, it's not us getting the favorable calls from the referee. It's the other team. Cahill gets sent off for what wasn't even a red card challenge in the first game. A week later, we're at Tottenham. Or no, it was 2 weeks later maybe. But at Tottenham, Dyer goes in for the same exact challenge. No card. Alvarez goes in, studs up onto the side of Willian's knee. Only a yellow. Now, the week after David Luiz gets sent off for a stupid challenge, Crouch goes into even a slightly worse challenge than David Luiz's challenge. It's just a yellow. And because the referee already gave him the yellow for it, that means the FA is not going to review it, which means he's not going to be suspended like he should. So once again, we're the only team that's suffering from poor decisions from the referee. You don't see Stoke suffering from it. You don't see Tottenham suffering from it. You don't see Man U ever suffering or Man City ever suffering from it. It's ridiculous. It's truly, truly stupid how this stuff can just happen to us and nobody bats an eye. So that's my frustration with the referee tonight. Mike Dean, you're an idiot. Let's talk about us, though, because the performance tonight was truly great. The lineup, first of all, in my opinion, not a bad lineup. I do have one frustration, though, and I'll get to that. But first, the back line, exactly what I wanted. Christensen has done well filling in for David Luiz, so you knew he was going to be the one to fill in there. But I fully expected to see Cahill play tonight, and he didn't. I think it's great. Rudiger deserves the chance. He played very well against Nottingham midweek. He's played very well so far in the Premier League, every chance he's gotten. I don't know why he didn't start last week, but whatever the case, he started tonight, and I'm happy for it. Everything else is pretty much as you'd expect, Moses and Alonso on the wings. Conte Bakayoko kind of figured just because Fabregas played midweek. Conte got a rest, so of course he's going to be back in. But I kind of expected to see Bakayoko back just because his fitness has been growing, and I think Antonio Conte wants to give him a chance. So I did expect to see that. The one frustration I have with the lineup, though, is no Hazard. And while that didn't end up hurting us overall, the truth of the matter is the first half was mainly Stoke's half, and a lot of that had to do with the fact that we couldn't keep possession up there. Our 2 goals came from one ball over the top to Morata and then one terrible giveaway from Fletcher to Pedro. That was the only 2 chances we had. We buried both of them, but we couldn't keep possession up top. And it just felt like every single time we went up, it was coming right back at us. It was coming right back at us, right back at us. And part of that is because, one, Pedro just isn't a player who's going to hold on to the ball. He's great at dribbling. He's great at flicking the ball on. But as far as his hold-up play, he can't do it very well. Morata sort of can, but he's more looking to lay it off to somebody. And for the most part, Pedro and Willian weren't really connecting with him. And Willian just had a bad game tonight. So that's the biggest problem we had in the first half, was just a lack of being able to keep possession up top. So it just allowed Stoke to continually come back at us, and that's why they had so many chances. So I think if Hazard had started, or even Fabregas had started up there, I think it would have been a lot better for us because we would have had somebody up there who can keep the ball and let us get out and let us rest defensively. As far as individual performances go, though, Courtois had to be called on a few times to make some saves. There was that one instance where he went up for the ball and ended up going over Cahill and landing hard on his back. He was down for a little bit, but he came up and looked okay. He made another good save after he got up. So I'm hoping it wasn't anything too serious. Hopefully no concussion there. I'm really praying it's just he landed hard and got winded for a second and needed to recompose himself. But we'll see how that goes. But very good performance from him tonight. Rudiger on the left side of the back three, very solid. I didn't see as many long balls going forward from him tonight as I did against Nottingham Forest. He showed that he's very capable of doing that if given the chance, but didn't really see it from him tonight for whatever reason. But defensively, he was very solid. He had to keep up with Doof coming down the right side, our left side, because Alonso doesn't really have a lot of speed. So Rudiger had to be the one to sort of keep track of him. On top of that, Shaqiri was also making runs down that left side as well. So he had a lot to deal with tonight, and for the most part, there were a couple instances where he got caught out stepping to pressure Shaqiri, and then Doof ends up sliding in behind, and he gets beat there. But it was very few times, and even then, Christensen was always there to cover for him. And on that note, Christensen had a very good game tonight. Very, very solid back there. He's starting to grow in confidence. He's starting to grow as a player. Still doesn't quite bring what David Luiz does going forward as far as his aerial challenges, winning it early and then getting it forward for us. But his defensive work is very, very solid. And I love watching him play because it's just, he makes it look very simple. For somebody who's so young and for somebody who really hasn't had a chance at Chelsea, he looks like he's been playing here his whole life. And it's just, whatever. Ball comes in, he wins it, easily finds an outlet, doesn't just boot it down the field all the time. So really good to see that he is coming along as a player and really doing well. It is kind of a question, though, once David Luiz does come back, how much time will he see? Obviously probably going to see David Luiz midweek since he's available for Champions League. But I would like to see Christensen continue to get chances because he's doing very well. Azpilicueta on the right side, another great assist from him. Very solid defensively as well. I was really disappointed whenever he had to get pushed over to the left side, but he still did well over there. It's just one of those things where I think he does so much better for us in that back three because he's so good defensively that he just makes it look easy back there. He puts so much pressure on anybody coming forward. Whoever's up there on that side, wherever he is, they're never allowed free time to just roam. They have to be quick with their touch. They have to be quick with their decisions because Azpilicueta is always there and he's always putting pressure on him. I love to see it. So getting another assist is just another great way for him to show he's got some of the best quality as far as defense goes. The wing backs, Moses on the right side, pretty solid game from him overall. Had to be called upon to make some good defensive challenges. Choupo-Moting and Peters were both sort of attacking down that left side a lot, so he was called upon quite a few times to help out defensively. Attack-wise, I would like to see a little bit more composure from him because it felt like he wasn't really keeping a hold of the ball as much as he could have. I just want to see him, instead of just thinking, okay, I'm under pressure, I got to kick it, I want to see him thinking, all right, where can I play next? He does it sometimes, but whenever he gets stuck in the back and you can see he doesn't really have an option, a lot of the time it's just a panic clearance and it's either out of bounds or it's right back to an opposition player. So he had an overall pretty good game tonight. It's just those few moments where we needed composure to keep possession. He didn't provide that for us. So a little bit disappointing, but I'm still overall very impressed with him. Alonso had a pretty good first half. Dealing with Doof and Shaqiri on one side is not an easy task. But second half he did lose his composure a little bit. A lot of that had to do with the fact that Doof was being very physical and aggressive. The ref really wasn't giving him any calls. At one point, Doof comes up, his arms up, and hits him in the cheek. Ref doesn't call anything. He doesn't even stop the play. He just lets him go on. And then his very next challenge, he's getting a yellow for it. And then his next challenge after that is one where Doof puts himself in the way to be fouled. And of course, all the crowd at that point is just yelling and yelling, wants him sit off. And so at that point, that's when they decide, okay, let's take him off before the ref decides to do something stupid. But his first half performance was very impressive. Pretty much our entire defense's performance in the first half was very impressive because there were a lot of good chances for Stoke, and they were putting a lot of pressure on us, and they held very strong. And so really, really impressed with them. Into the midfield, looking at Kante and Bakayoko. Conte, very, very good again. Very solid once again, just doing what Conte does, winning the ball, putting a lot of pressure, coming out with a lot of speed as well to start a counterattack. Bakayoko, also very strong, also very good defensively in the midfield. But one of the things that he didn't really provide for us tonight is whenever he was on the ball, it felt like he wasn't really aware of what was going on around him. He got it picked off of him a few times, and it seemed like his feet weren't really ready to receive a couple of passes to him. And that's where I think, there are going to be certain games like this one. It's kind of ironic because I think he should have played against Arsenal where we needed a big body to sort of hold up possession. Tonight against Stoke, I think we needed somebody who's going to keep possession a lot more with the passing, keeping it moving. Because where Fabregas was put under a lot of pressure against Arsenal tonight, it was like they were waiting and trying to pick off passes or trying to pick off the second touch, and Fabregas normally doesn't give that away. So it almost felt like tonight was a game for Fabregas and not Bakayoko. It's very hard. It's going to be very difficult to know going into each game what are we going to expect. Are they going to put high pressure on us? Are they going to stand off and try to make us make a mistake? That's always going to be difficult to read before a game even starts, but you could tell tonight it wasn't really Bakayoko's element as far as the attacking side of it went. He did a very good job, though, defensively, and so I am impressed at what he did there. But, yeah, I would have liked to see a little bit more composure from him whenever he was on the ball. Pedro didn't really do a whole lot. The goal was brilliant. Great reading to see the chest was coming his way, and then great take after he picked it off of him. But, yeah, other than that, didn't really provide a whole lot for us defensively or attacking. They very few times that I could think about, oh, he did something there. He did something good or bad. He just didn't seem really involved tonight. So, it's something that I guess is kind of a good thing because most of the time I notice whenever he's on the field just because I see him giving away possession, terrible passes. Most of the time I'm very frustrated with him. Tonight, I wasn't. I didn't really notice him. So, it's kind of a good and a bad thing because you want him to be more involved, but at least he wasn't involved in a bad way. Willian, on the other hand, was involved in a bad way tonight. Like I said, really wasn't his game. A lot of giveaways. Even whenever he was trying to win the ball back, it felt like he was just sort of running around and knocking people over, putting too much pressure on somebody and fouling them when he doesn't need to. So I was just, I don't know, I'm disappointed because I think Willian is a good player. I've seen a lot of quality from him over the years. I think he provides a lot going forward, but there are nights like tonight where his touch isn't right. He tries to dribble when he should lay it off, and it's just not coming off for him. And you could see it wasn't tonight. Tonight really wasn't his night at all. So I'm very disappointed with him. Murata up top, obviously getting a hat trick, his very first hat trick for Chelsea. He had a great night. His runs off of the defenders were brilliant. His hold-up play as well, was pretty good. Like I said, it wasn't really holding it up like Costa would, where it's like hold up, chest it down, hold the defender off. It was more the ball comes up to him and he's winning it. He's just laying it off for somebody else. And whenever Fabregas and Hazard came on, it started working because now there is somebody there to pick it up whenever he lays it off. So it's a little bit different than what we've come to expect up there, but it was working tonight. It was brilliant overall. All three of his goals were very well taken. The first one, great little run behind, great ball from Azpilicueta. The second one, another great run, beats the defender after Bakayoko picks it off, and then a great finish to follow that up. And then the last one was just very well placed, puts himself in a nice position. Azpilicueta chests it to him, and he just has to poke it in. So, yeah, just really good performance from him overall tonight. Very glad that we have a striker who is not just looking good up top, he's also finishing. That's something that not a lot of teams can have. The subs that came on, Cahill didn't really come on and do much good or bad. He had to put in a few good challenges defensively. But as far as, one of the biggest problems I have with him is never his defensive work. It's always what he does on the ball. Sometimes it's too much. Sometimes he just gives it away. Tonight, didn't really do that, but didn't really do anything good with the ball either. So, it's another mixed bag where I didn't really notice him after he came on, aside from those couple really good defensive challenges. Hazard, Fabregas came on, sort of one after the other. Fabregas came on first, provided some really good balls in, started looking really dangerous after he came on, and then Hazard comes on, and now all of a sudden we've got control of the game. We're just dominating from then on. So Very good performances from both of them, in my opinion, and it's something that's very impressive because normally Hazard, like I've said before in the Arsenal game, it takes him some time to normally get into a game. It takes about 10, 15 minutes. He makes a great run. He all of a sudden does something out of nowhere, and then we're just like, holy cow, he's in this game. Tonight, it took him probably about 5 minutes before he was finally, before he got involved, he started doing something effective. So, yeah, I mean, impressive with him because normally it takes him more time than that. But yeah, overall, like I said, great performance. 4-0 win is something difficult to do on the road and especially at Stoke. Murata getting himself a hat trick is very impressive. Now we have to turn our attention to Atletico midweek because this is going to be probably the most difficult game we're going to face until we face Man City next weekend. But yeah, it's 2 back-to-back difficult games. It's going to be difficult. We're going to have to make some changes probably going into this game. I'm wondering if we're going to see Murata or Batman going up top. It could be either of them because Murata does have history facing off against Atletico when he was with Real. Batman, he's been getting all of the tournament games, so be interested to see who's going to start. I do expect Hazard to start because why else would you rest him in this game if you're not going to let him start against Atletico midweek? And then as far as the midfield, could be Fabregas and Conte, could be Fabregas and Bakayoko, could be Conte and Bakayoko. I never know what to expect, but that's kind of the fun of it. You go into each game not knowing what lineup to expect, not knowing who you're going to get each week because everybody's playing pretty well. Everybody brings something different to the field, and so, yeah, it's something to look forward to. So that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on this game? Who's your man of the match? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Chelsea reviews. I'll see you guys in the next game. Peace out.